Alright guys, this is station 3, add and subtract metric measurements. So one thing that I'm going to say that's super important is that whenever you add and subtract your measurements, you want to make sure that they are in the same unit. So for example, we have kilometers and meters. Those are not in the same unit, so we need to put them there. Again, I always like to convert to the smaller unit because especially in subtraction, sometimes you may not have enough if you convert to the larger unit. So I always like to convert to the smaller, and then if we have to change it back, we will. So like before, we need to figure out, well, how much is in each unit? So I know that in 1 kilometer, that's equal to 1,000 meters. So if I have 4 kilometers, then I have to multiply that by 1,000. Well, 4 times 1,000 is 4,000. So now I have 4,000 meters minus 280 meters. Okay, and you can write it like this and then rewrite it, or you can just say that that's 4,000 meters and stack them, minus 280 meters. Okay, so now we have like units. So I'm going to bring my meters down because it's always important to carry that unit. 0 minus 0 is 0. Can we do 0 minus 8? No. So we got to go next door. Well, when I went next door, they still didn't have anything. So I'm going to go to the next door. Well, here I can finally borrow. When I borrow, that means we take away something. So this 4 becomes a 3. And now this neighbor gets to have 10. Well, I still didn't get to my 8 yet. So I'm going to borrow from this neighbor now who has enough. So when I borrow, you're taken away. So that 10 becomes a 9. And now this neighbor gets 10. So now I have enough to to take away. 10 minus 8 is 2. And then 9 minus 2 is 7. And then we have our 3 that we're going to bring down. So 4 kilometers minus 280 meters is equal to 3,720 meters. And it also states in the direction that we want it in mixed units. So we're going to change it back. Mixed units means that it wants it in kilometers and meters. So remember that if kilometers has 1,000 meters, we want to look into our thousands place. So here we have a 3. So that would mean that we have 3 kilometers and then 720 meters. So I'd like for you to state your answers both ways. Alright, let's look at the next one. Here we have centimeters and meters. Remember, we want to convert to the smaller unit. Centimeters is smaller than meters. I know that in 1 meter, that's equal to 100 centimeters. Well, this one's easy because we already wrote it out. We already have 1 meter. So that's 100 centimeters plus another 15 because we have to add this whole thing up. So that's equal to 115 centimeters minus 34 centimeters. So we're going to carry our unit down. 5 minus 4 is 1. Can we take 3 away from 1? No. So we have to go next door and borrow. When we borrow, we take away, so that 1 becomes a 0. And this one When we add 10 to it, becomes an 11. So now we have 11 minus 3. I'm going to use my touch points. 11, 10, 9, 8. So now I have 81 centimeters. Now I want to ask you, they asked for mixed units. We have 81 centimeters left over. If we need 100 centimeters to make 1 meter, do we have enough centimeters here to create a meter? No. So our answer would just be stated in centimeters. Alright, let's look at this one. I have kilometers and meters. So again, we know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. We're going to convert first to our smaller unit, and then we'll convert it back to our mixed unit. So if I have 1 kilometer, that's 1,000 meters. So I have 1,000 plus 431. Well, you should know that that would give you 1,431 meters. Over here, we have 13 kilometers. Well, 13 times 1,000 is 13,000, and 13,000 plus 169 would be 13,169 meters. And guys, if you needed to, you can totally write these out. You can say, okay, well, 13 times 1,000 is equal to 13,000. And then I have another 169. So I'm going to add that. That's 9, that's 6, that's 1, that's 3, and that's 1. You should get the same answer. I'm just doing more of it in my head than writing it out because you've had practice with it. Alright, so now that I am in like units, I can add. So 9 plus 1 is 10. So I put my 0, I carry my 1. 6 plus 3 plus 1 is 10. So I'm going to put my 0, carry my 1. 4 plus 1 is 6. 3 plus 1 is 4. And then I bring down my 1. So I have 14,600 meters. 14,600 meters. But I also need to convert this into kilometers. So again, if we look at our thousands place, I have a 14. So this would also be 14 kilometers. And then anything that's not in our thousands place is what's left over. 600 meters. Alright. I want you to try to do this one because it's easy. It already gave you like units. So you simply had to take 3,715 minus 1,500 and subtract. So 5 minus 0 is 5. 1 minus 0 is 1. 7 minus 5 is 2. And 3 minus 1 is 2. So we have 2,215 grams. However, I also want to show this in mixed units. And it's possible. How many kilograms would this be, and how many grams? Well, I know that in 1 kilogram, there's 1,000 grams. So I'm going to look in my thousands place, and I see a 2. So I have 2 kilograms, and then the rest is what's left over, 215 grams. All right, let's look at this one. We have meters and centimeters. So again, up here, we already wrote out 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So here, if I were to multiply, I'm actually going to write this one out. if I were to multiply 231 times 100, remember you'd leave your zeros out and multiply 231 times 1, which is just 231, and then you add your zeros back, 0, 0. So this is actually 23,100 centimeters. And then if we go up here and convert 14 meters, we would do 14 times 100, which is equal to 14 times 1 is 14, and 2 zeros. So that's actually 1,400 centimeters. Now that we have, oh, I'm sorry. I wonder who can tell me what I did wrong. See if you can tell me what I did wrong. You should have noticed that after I converted, I did not go back in and add in the centimeters they already gave us. So this should actually be 23,131 centimeters. And then this one should be 1,448 centimeters. Alright, now we have our correct answers and we have our like units, so we're able to subtract. So we're going to keep our centimeters. 1 minus 8, we cannot do that. So we go next door, we borrow. When we borrow, we take away. That 3 becomes a 2. This 1 becomes an 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. Now we have 2 minus 4. Well, that can't happen. So we go next door. This 1 becomes a 0. That 2 becomes a 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. So now we have a 0 minus 4. Again, we can't do that. We go next door. This 3 becomes a 2. The 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. So now we have 2 minus 1 is 1. And you bring down your 2. So we have 21,683 centimeters. However, we need to convert this to meters and centimeters now. So we're looking at our hundredths place again. So in our hundredths place we have a 6, but we also have everything else before that. So how many meters and how many centimeters? Well, if I take the 6 and everything before that, I would have 216 meters, and then I would have 83 centimeters left over. Alright, let's look at our last one. Grams and kilograms. So we want to convert to grams because it's our smaller unit, and we cannot add or subtract without like units. So if I have 25 kilograms, I know that that would be 25,000 grams plus another 9. So I'd have 25,000 plus 9, which would be 25,009 grams. And then I have 24 kilograms, so I know that's 24,000 plus 991, which is equal to 24,991 grams. So now I can add these two numbers together because we have like units. 9 plus 1 is 10. Put your 0, carry your 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. Put your 0, carry your 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. Put your 0, carry your 1. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 1 more is 10. Put your 0, carry your 1. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. So we actually have 50,000 grams. But we have to convert that. How many kilograms? How many grams? Again, if you know that in grams and kilograms, there's 1,000 grams. So we're looking at our thousands places. So here in my thousands places, I have 50. So I know that I have 50 kilograms, but then I only have 0 grams left over. And excuse me guys, and is that okay? Yes, that is perfectly okay. All right, let's look at our first word problem. So remember, with word problems, we're going to chunk them. So whenever you get to a period or a comma, we're going to stop and draw what we know. It says the length of Carter's driveway is 12 meters, 38 centimeters. So we have a driveway, and that driveway is Carter's, and it is 12 meters, 38 centimeters. Then it says his neighbor's driveway is 4 meters, 99 centimeters longer. Okay, so, this makes me wonder. It says that it's longer. It doesn't actually say that it's 4 meters, 99 centimeters long. It says that it's longer. So what does that mean? It's gotta mean that it's longer than Carter's driveway. So I'm going to draw a comparison tape diagram, because we know that his neighbor's driveway is at least Carter's length, but is 4 meters, so it's Carter's length, but it's 4 meters longer, which means we have to add. So it's Carter's plus the 4 meters, 99 centimeters. And it's asking how long is his neighbor's driveway. So eventually, I want to know how long. I'm going to change these labels because they're confusing me. Not confusing me, but this is Carter's, this is his neighbor's. So my goal is to figure out the neighbor's. So how do we do that? Well, if we have to add Carter's amount plus the neighbor's longer amount, we need to switch to like units. So remember, in 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So 12 times 100 is 1200. So this is actually equal to 1200 plus 38, which is equal to 1238 centimeters. And then if we convert this, 4 times 100 is 400 plus 99, which is equal to 499 centimeters. So now that we have like units, we can add them together. So 1238 centimeters plus 499 centimeters. If you carry your unit down, 8 plus 9 is 17. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 3 more is 13. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. Put your comma and carry your 1. So this number here is how long his neighbor's driveway is. So you can keep it like this, or you can convert it to how many meters, how many centimeters. I think that since the question gave it in mixed units, and it doesn't ask me in the question how to put it, I'm going to pull it back into mixed units. So remember that we're looking at our hundredths. So for my hundredths and anything before, that's going to count as my meters. So I have 17 meters, and then I have 37 centimeters. So now I need to write my statement. The neighbor's driveway is 17 meters, 37 centimeters long. Alright guys, so we just did our first measurement word problem. Get started on independent.